Hey everyone, and welcome to Talk ETFs, ETF.com's weekly video series. My name is Sumi Roy, and I'm Senior Analyst here at ETF.com. And this week, I'm speaking with Joshua Kaplan, who's the Head of Research and Investment Strategy at Market Vector Indexes. Joshua, thanks so much for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely great to have you. I want to start by asking you a question about a comment you recently made, and that is you said the rapid advancement that we're seeing in AI is actually a national defense issue. Can you talk about what you meant by that?
Yeah, absolutely. So AI is sort of I guess it's a next phase, so to speak, in digitization generally. Um, and trend in digitization just for enterprises, but also for governments, exposes as we're all pretty well aware already, exposes us to more cyber style attacks or the ability for adversaries to disrupt our day-to-day life um, through attacks on infrastructure. And AI in particular exposes us to um, potentially even more consequential cyber style attacks because now we're moving into more autonomous systems. And so, it definitely presents security challenges as well as opportunities.
That makes a lot of sense. And I want to circle back to that whole AI theme in a second, Joshua. But before we go there, recently we heard some news reports about the Trump administration wanting to either cut back or redirect some parts of military spending. Upwards of $50 billion is the number I heard. Do you think that's possible? Does the Trump administration have the authority to do that? And regardless, do you think we're going to see spending cuts in terms of the US military budget?
Um, I'm not I'm not sure I can answer the piece about whether Trump has the authority to do that himself, but my personal view is that most likely wherever you look within government or even in the corporate sector, but in the government, there are always going to be places where you can find um, corners to cut or places where you can kind of trim the fat. And from what I've been reading, that is the goal, right? The goal is not to disrupt um, or diminish America's quantitative military advantage, but maybe there are some programs where it's just not kind of like uh, low impact, um, and low significance to make those cuts. But I would hope personally that there are places where spending could be cut, but not probably in the way that is going to impact orders for new F-35 fighter jets or those kind of big ticket items. I don't really see the U.S. pulling away from its quantitative or qualitative military edge.
Joshua, you make some great points about there being new vectors that people have to consider with the advent of AI, cybersecurity and things like that. There's been a lot of bullishness about Palantir, this analytics company. We've seen the stock go through the roof for the reasons you cite. But that's obviously just one stock, and it's trading at a very rich valuation. For investors who hear what you're saying and they want to, kind of bet on this continuing boom in AI as well as defense spending, how should they go about investing in this theme aside from just buying this single stock?
Yeah, so I think AI in terms of defense, AI is going to have an impact on portfolios in terms of broadening the addressable market of the traditional defense companies, but also kind of bringing in um, pieces of the defense sector that people don't normally associate with being in a defense investment strategy. And so specifically, what I mean by that is, when Market Vector creates indexes or index strategies in a thematic lens, we're pulling from across different sectors. We don't care necessarily whether or not the product itself is a as a defense or military equipment, but do these companies derive a significant portion of their revenue from national security departments or defense departments? And so there's going to be, I think, and it's already starting, where companies that would be more traditionally kind of industrial services or IT infrastructure, so Booz Allen Hamilton, for example, is another company that's helping defense departments and traditional defense companies like Lockheed Martin bring more AI integration across their product sets and across government departments. Um, and then also companies that maybe are developing civilian use technologies, say for autonomous vehicles. Um, those are also going to have a lot of applications in the defense and military um, sector. So we think that there's massive opportunity um, for expansion of the view of the definition of defense, but also for the traditional defense companies themselves. I'm kind of viewing AI as like a massive upgrade cycle potential. So just like Apple launching its newest iPhone, which may or may not always, be a big hit with investors or consumers. This is just for instance, there's an Israeli company called Elbit Systems, and they're developing kind of next generation assault rifles. Um, so something as sort of mundane as an assault rifle now is being integrated with AI capabilities for increased situational awareness or to be able to sort of bring in an aspect of Internet of Things on the battlefield. Um, there's an upgrade cycle going on with these traditional companies, in addition to just a broadening opportunity set for investors to capture a broader defense theme.
Fantastic. Well, those are some great insights, Joshua. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.